Oh hey, didn't see you there. I'm Alex. When it comes to nuclear weapons, most people are reminded of the destruction, chaos, and death. However, what if I told you it's also the world's most peaceful creation? A perfect example that proves this theory goes all the way to October of 1962, during the Cold War. In very brief terms, the Cold War was a state of political and military tension after World War II between powers in Western Bloc and Eastern Bloc, also known as the United States and the Soviet Union. What happened in October of 1962 is what is now known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. After learning that the Soviets were adding missiles to their increasing military presence in Cuba, President Kennedy threatened a strike against the USSR if the missiles weren't removed. One might make the argument, however, why didn't the Soviets just strike missiles against the US? They were completely capable. Or, why did the US warn the Soviets instead of just striking them unexpectedly? And now the answer to all these arguments lies in the theory of mutually assured destruction.
Assured destruction, also known as MAD, was a theory developed through the 1940s, which was a national security policy in which the use of nuclear weapons by two or more sides will result in the complete destruction of both the attacker and the defender. Here we have an illustration which shows mutually assured destruction in simpler terms. On the right we see Russia and on the left we see USA. Both of these sides or neighbors or houses have a button. The moment one of these sides press the button, the opposite side will get destroyed. Therefore, for example, if USA were to press the button, Russia's house would be destroyed, but not immediately. It would be destroyed within 4 minutes. And not only that, Russia will also be alerted that USA decided to press the button in order to destroy their house. Therefore, the most logical thing for Russia to do would be to also press the button in order to destroy USA's home. Therefore, here one can see the Cold War conflict with nuclear weapons and mutually assured destruction. If in the Cold War USA were to launch nuclear missiles towards Russia, or Russia were to launch nuclear missiles to USA, the opposite side or the defender would be alerted by this. They would be able to see it, therefore they would also throw nuclear weapons to the opposing country, this ending in the complete destruction of both sides.
On October 1962, the United States and the Soviet Union came to the edge of the Cold War. Today, this event is known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. It might be a very famous example, but it wasn't the only one. At that time, the United States and the Soviet Union were about to destroy themselves many times. Often, equipment failures, spy missions, war games, and other misunderstandings nearly resulted in nuclear retaliation. Actually, let me go and get some examples. Here I have some more examples about MAD and the Cold War. On September 26, 1983, Colonel Stanislav Petrov was in command at Serpukhov 15 bunker. This was where the Soviets monitored their satellite-based detection system. One night, panic broke out when an alarm sounded signaling that the United States had fired 5 intercontinental ballistic missiles towards Russia. The warning was a false alarm, but to the Soviets it appeared the United States had started a nuclear war. Protocol demanded that Serpukhov 15 report any sign of a missile launch to the Soviet High Command, but Petrov had a feeling the warning was an error. He knew the satellite system would have errors, and he also reasoned that any nuclear attack would come in hundreds, not only 5 nuclear missiles. With only minutes to take a decision, Petrov reported the launch as a false alarm. The incident remained classified until after the Cold War.
The nuclear bomb can be argued to be a peaceful creation. There's no denying that nuclear weapons made the world what it is today and led to the prevention of multiple conflicts. If one were to keep in mind the theory of MAD, it's only logical that countries with nuclear weapons would not attack each other, since that would lead to their own destruction. Due to this, for example, there was never any real direct conflict between the USSR and the US. As said before, if one attacked the other, both countries would end up destroyed.
So, why should we care? Well, there is no doubt that if it weren't for the theory of mutually assured destruction, humanity would have been wiped out by the ridiculous power of nuclear weapons both sides had the power of using to their desire. Crazy, right? Our lives depended on both the US and the Soviet Union not launching their missiles, which was so close to happening multiple times. If that's not enough, mutually assured destruction is also the reason countries are currently developing nuclear weapons today. If a country has nuclear weapons, they are immediately guaranteed safety from any other nuclear threats. A perfect example of this would be North Korea, very known for violating human rights, yet they are practically untouchable because of their nuclear weapons.
A deterrent strategy like MAD is not a long-term sustainable solution because of different factors such as a leader going crazy and attacking another nation, or machine errors, or different factors. Efforts have been made over the past 2 decades to reduce the world's stockpiles from a peak of around 70,000 in 1986 to about 17,300 today. Only 4,200 which are operationally active nuclear warheads. Can we get nuclear zero? That's the actual question. With the ongoing terrorist threat and the lack of trust between nuclear nations, nuclear zero is not yet in the cards. But if we continue to reduce the size of global stockpile, reinforce the no first use policy, amp up the taboo against nuclear weapons, we can slowly inch our way to global trust and security.
Anton un poco. Alec, I need you to start supporting up. 3, 2.
And the defender. Here we have an illustration which in theory shows MAD. If I got 1, 2, 3. No se vio. 3, 2, 1, action.
A perfect example of this would be North Korea, yet they are